Ease is not luck, it's not magic. It's a set of habits that soft, centered, feminine women practice every single day, quietly but consistently. Welcome back to day 8 of our 100-day softness journey and glow up. I'm Dr. Nicole, and today I'm breaking down the real habits of women who glide through life without the chaos, the rushing, and the emotional heaviness. Because I know you have met these women. They seem to have this invisible force field around them that keeps drama away. They speak softly, but people listen. They move slowly, but somehow get everything done. They seem untouchable by the stress that overwhelms everyone else. Today, I'm showing you exactly how they do it. A few years ago, I met a woman at a conference who moved so calmly and gracefully through life that I was convinced she had fewer problems than everyone else. While everyone else was rushing between sessions, checking phones frantically, and complaining about being overwhelmed, she was sitting quietly, speaking thoughtfully, and seemed completely at peace. I was fascinated, so I asked her about it. Turns out she didn't have fewer problems than everyone else. She had the same challenges: work stress, family responsibilities, and financial concerns. But she had something else: boundaries. Yes, the big B word. She had presence, and she didn't let the world rush her. That conversation changed how I understood ease. It's not about having a perfect life, it's about how you move through your imperfect life. Habit number 1: soft women are never in a hurry. Now, I don't mean they're slow or inefficient, I mean their nervous system is regulated. They don't operate from panic or urgency. They speak slowly, they walk with intention, they don't fill every silence with chatter. They don't multitask their way through conversations. When you're around these women, you feel like you can breathe because they're not rushing you, pressuring you, or making you feel like you need to speed up in order to keep up with them. This is what we call presence over productivity. They understand that being fully present in each moment is more valuable than trying to do 10 million things all at once. Here's what this looks like practically: they leave 10 minutes early instead of arriving stressed. They finish one task before starting another. They listen to respond, not to interrupt. This habit alone will transform how people experience you. When you're not rushing, you become a calming presence in other people's lives, and they actually gravitate towards you. The second habit: they protect their peace like it's their most valuable possession. Their phone is on do not disturb more often than not. They don't answer calls immediately every time. They don't respond to text within seconds or minutes unless it's urgent. They have limited access. Not everyone gets their personal number, not everyone gets invited into their home, and not everyone gets their emotional energy. That's the key right there. They practice what I call full body no. When something doesn't feel right, they don't override that feeling with logic or guilt. They trust their intuition and they decline. We protect what we value. And these women value their serenity above being liked, above being available, and above being seen as helpful. This doesn't make them selfish, it makes them selective. They understand that their peace is the foundation of everything else in their life. Without it, they can't show up fully for the people and things that truly matter. The third habit is they receive without guilt. Compliments, help, support, love, they let it in. They don't deflect praise. They don't refuse assistance. They don't make themselves smaller to make others comfortable. When someone says, "You look beautiful," they say thank you instead of listing everything wrong with their appearance. When someone offers to help, they say that would be wonderful instead of, "Oh no, I can handle it myself." When someone wants to pay for dinner, they graciously accept instead of fighting over what they're going to pay. They understand that receiving is part of their feminine alignment, that their ability to receive actually gives others the gift of giving. Most women struggle with this because we've been taught that receiving makes us selfish or even worse, weak. But these women understand that receiving is a form of feminine power. It's magnetic. It draws people toward them because they make others feel valued and appreciated through their actions. The fourth habit is they stay out of drama. They don't argue with fools. They exit. They don't compete with other women. They elevate. When someone tries to pull them into gossip, they change the subject. When someone tries to pull them into gossip, they change the subject or remove themselves from the conversation. When someone is being disrespectful, they don't engage in a power struggle. They simply state their boundary and enforce it. When someone is trying to create conflict, they don't take the bait. They stay centered in their own energy. This isn't about being cold or disconnected. It's about understanding that drama is a choice, and they choose peace instead of drama. They've learned that you can't control other people's behavior, but you can control your response to it. And their response is always to protect their energy and maintain their center. This habit makes them incredibly attractive to healthy people and incredibly unappealing to toxic people. And that is exactly what they want. The fifth habit is they know their body's language. They recognize the early signs of tension, fatigue, anxiety, and overwhelm, and they respond before it becomes a crisis. When their shoulders start creeping up, they pause and soften. When they feel their energy dropping, they rest instead of pushing through. When they notice anxiety building, they use breathing techniques or remove themselves from the situation. When they feel overwhelmed, they delegate, postpone, or eliminate completely instead of forcing themselves to handle everything. Soft women listen to their bodies and respond with care instead of ignoring the signals until they're forced to stop. This is feminine wisdom, being so connected to your inner world that you can course correct before you crash. They understand that their body is always communicating with them, and they've learned to speak that language fluently. Here's what all these habits have in common: they're all about internal regulation. These women have learned to manage their nervous system, their energy, and their emotional state. They don't depend on external circumstances to determine how they feel. This is why they can move through life with ease. Not because their life is easier, but because they've developed the internal resources to handle whatever comes their way with grace. You can create ease on purpose. It's not something that happens to you, it's something you cultivate through consistent, intentional habits. Start with one habit today. Maybe it's slowing down your speech. Maybe it's putting your phone on Do Not Disturb for an hour. Maybe it's saying thank you the next time someone compliments you. Hit subscribe for day 9, where we're diving into soft boundaries versus harsh boundaries and why the way you set boundaries matters just as much as having them. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 habits do you want to work on first? I'll see you tomorrow. I'm Dr. Nicole.